3:30 in the morning and we're up ready to go to Paris. I've just had something to eat, but yeah, we gotta go quick. We're going to Manchester Airport and flying to Charles de Gaulle and getting the magic bus, whatever you call it, to Paris. So yeah, bit tired. Went to bed a bit early, didn't have the best sleep, but yeah, I'll survive. I didn't suffer at all from jet lag in Florida, so it should be fine. But yeah, gonna be there for 5:15, flight 7:15, so yeah, check in later. Okay, it is now day 2 of the trip. We did a few rides yesterday, but yeah, like Snow White, Pinocchio, most things to be honest. It's small as well. We're now ready to ride Thunder Mountain. I've done it once and it is running awesome. So much better than before. The effects are amazing. Okay, wow, that was amazing. Even better than before. There's like no braking on that last drop that time. I think there's some trims. There's a really big drop at the end, and they trimmed it. You've just seen some shots with the GoPro there. I've not got the chest mount working yet, so I had to hold that, and yeah, it was quite hard. But hopefully that footage looked okay. But yeah. So yeah, we're just getting some shots of Thunder Mountain here, to be honest, and then I think we're gonna head into studios. Yeah, we're gonna have some lunch in the restaurant in Discoveryland, then we're gonna go to studios. So here I am now in studios. Near Rock and Roller Coaster. We're going to go on that next. Don't like this exterior though. Heard this was meant to be better than Florida's, but this exterior looks awful. So there we go, we've had a ride on Rock and Roller Coaster. I'm just out here outside Studio 5, or whatever you call it. Actually, I'm not sure it is Studio 5, sorry, I'm looking in the wrong direction. I went past it quite quick, but yeah, it was running really good, much better than the Paris one. I'll talk a lot about it later at the end of the vlog. I'll do a little summary and talk about it more then, but much better than Florida's, even though Florida's is amazing too. Here we are outside Tower of Terror. We're going to go and do that next. And whoa, look at that Hollywood Tower sign. Not as good as the Florida on this, but still really good. Don't believe anything's changed since last time. So see when we come off. Not allowed to film on this. Only ride you're not allowed to film on, actually, this one. Whoa, just trying to get the tower dropping. Here outside Crush's Coaster, not going to ride it now, but just thought I'd get some shots around here. Morrison spinning coaster, this. Really good ride. Very enjoyable. Just having another look round here before we head back to the hotel, then go for tea. So yeah, just having a little pan round here at the flower beds out here. So I'm just here outside studios now, Studio 1, and hi Goofy. There we go, he's stood and waved there. There's this little meet and greet going around there. Just out here outside Studio 1, going to go back to the hotel for tea. Studio 1's like indoor Main Street for the Studios Park. So yeah, 25th poster up there. So we're just here outside Disney Village, outside the hotel, and I just thought I'd show you this big balloon. I think it's like a pay extra thing, you like pay so much to go in this basically big balloon. So yeah, after this we're going to go to Plaza Gardens, like I said before, I think I did anyway, a restaurant in Disneyland, just at the top end of Main Street. So yeah. So we're back inside Disneyland Park, just done a couple of other rides including Autopia, and I'm here now at Pirates of the Caribbean, ready to go on again. What a wonderful ride, been on it before, lovely updates, the queue's amazing, so good. Obviously the original ride at Disneyland came before the films, then the films inspired the rides, so they added like Jack Sparrow and stuff like that to the rides. Yeah, and the Disneyland one looks really good. Yeah, it feels better to do it in the evening for some reason, Pirates of the Caribbean. Not sure why, but yeah, amazing ride, just got off. Wow. Yeah, I'm just showing you a few more shots around here, to be honest. And sorry for that smudge on the camera before, I'm not sure how that got there. But yeah, we're going to Indiana Jones next. So here I am then at Indiana Jones, maybe a controversial ride for some of Disney, as I'm sure people wouldn't be happy if they knew that this actually uses a layout of a manufacturer called Pimfari that often build rides at fairs, and yeah, Disney's definitely a bit more upscale than fairs, a bit more, posh is not the right word, but you know what I mean, a bit more up class, obviously, so yeah. But the queue's amazing for this. Some good scenery actually. Not quantity, but quality. Okay, just got off Indiana Jones. Forgot how kind of rough that was in some places. A bit of a headbanger on some of the first corners, but definitely worth riding. Still a really good ride. The temple, although it's not much theming, it still looks good. You don't see a lot when you're going around the ride, but off-ride, this ride's impressive. It's more visually impressive off-ride than on, but it's still a really good ride to go on. So yeah, I'm just going to stand there showing you a few more shots. It was only a 5-minute wait, so yeah, I would have shown you more stuff in the queue, but as it was 5 minutes, I didn't kind of want to hold up the people behind. So I think what we're going to do next is we're going to do Big Thunder Mountain. We're going to do, and then I think we might head back because I'm starting to get a bit tired. Obviously I was up very early yesterday, so I'm still tired. Okay, just had a night ride on Thunder Mountain, and wow, that thing is crazy at night. Barely any lights around the ride. I would have liked to see a few lanterns and stuff, but still, that ride is just unpredictable at night. But it makes it good in that way. And just looking over the Thunder Mesa Riverboat, the lake, and this whole area is beautiful. I'd say it's my favourite area of the park, possibly. Although the theming around pirates outside is amazing and Adventureland, so much better than Florida. Even the outside of the ride on Florida, it's just like put on a street. It's just like kind of there. Whereas this, you have this pirates, you have this whole massive immersive area, just so good. And we're gonna head back home now. Have a look in Disney Village and go home because we're quite tired. Like I said, we would be. Not gonna watch the fireworks. Just gonna head straight back. But it's been a brilliant day, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the holidays so much more to show you yet. And there it is, Big Thunder Mountain. I think that's took my place for the second favourite coaster in the world. Like I was saying just showing you the outside here, by the way. I think that's actually my second favourite roller coaster in the world. I think it's took it from Expedition Everest at Florida. I think it's just there behind Icon. So I kind of signed off quite quickly then, but like I said we would, we just went back to the hotel after that, had a look at Disney Village. I did tell you a couple of times, I know it's a bit of an abrupt sign off at the end, but yeah, we're now here in studios at the Motor Action Stunt Show Spectacular. Basically a stunt show with cars and motorbikes, and I'm going to show you a good few shots from this. But here is Lightning McQueen. They do a bit of a thing at the start where Lightning McQueen drives around. Yes, so they do a bit of a thing at the start where Lightning McQueen drives around, not really any stunts that go on there, and then they go into the proper stunts with the guns and stuff. Yeah, there is guns and stuff in this show. As you can see here, this is the chase scene. Okay, so I think, yeah, I'll show you some few more shots. I hope I do get the ending to this because there's quite a good ending to this show. But yeah, I'm gonna shut up for a bit and show you some more shots. And this is one of my favourite scenes they're doing now. Obviously, I've seen this before, as you can tell. So I'm here now on the Studio Tram Tour. In the action scene, it's basically a tram tour around some different movie scenes. That was really good, the stunt jumps. Sorry I didn't get through the end bit. Didn't get to record it, sorry, because I forgot just how quick it comes. If you don't want spoilers, skip about 10 seconds. Basically, a car jumps through the window and there's a big explosion. That's basically what happens. And in this scene, we've got more fire, more water, similar kind of effects, but obviously you're kind of on the thing. So this thing's going to set on fire in any second. There we go, and it's warm. And basically, water's going to come down and put it out, and we might get a bit wet. But yeah, really good, that stunt show. And I think after this we're going to get some lunch at the hot dog place outside Tower of Terror and go back into the main park. And here comes the water. We're not getting wet though, which is good. But yeah, basically after this it just takes you back through some more scenes. So you got scenes, action scene, and then more scenes that take you basically back the way you came. It is absolutely boiling here in Disneyland Paris, 33 degrees, the air conditioning is rubbish, Thunder Mountain's just gone down but it's now opened up again, as you'll see coming past in a minute as I'm filming it. I'm on the Thunder Mesa Riverboat, also known as the Molly Brown, and it's just too hot. We're going to go back to the hotel after this because it's just getting ridiculous now. However, also what I'm going to do later is I've got Chess Marty GoPro working, so we're going to film Big Thunder Mountain, so yeah. Talk to you then. That was running well. Probably one of the best one. You reckon? Probably the best one. Yeah. Yes. It's been running all day. Well. Wow. Oh my god, that ride on Big Thunder Mountain was just amazing. Best one yet. Best tentacle ride, that's the Sunset as well. Running beautiful. It's been running all day apart from that little breakdown before, but they're really good. They got it running straight away. Also, I forgot to mention this morning that we did rides. Also, we did Ratatouille the Adventure, Slinky Dog Parachute Drop as well. I'll talk about Ratatouille more at the end of the vlog. We also did a re-ride on to Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster from the Thunder Mesa Riverboat. And yeah, we did Pirates of the Caribbean, Matt had his Teacups and Peter Pan again before that little ride on Thunder Mountain. We had 2 on Thunder Mountain, actually, 1 more into the night. We also did Indiana Jones again as well. And we just did Hyperspace Mountain. It's been closed 5 hours, in the last hour park time, and it's just reopened again. Well done, Disney. Thank you so much. A lot of parks just probably wouldn't bother opening it if they couldn't get it fixed until the last hour, but Disney got it fixed by the last like 55 minutes and they reopened it for just that time. So good. It's like 20 past 10 now or something like that. But yeah, really good. But I'm not seeing another one go up yet, so I'm not sure if it's broken again or what. Yeah, but wow, that was so amazing. And Tomorrowland, I mean Discoveryland, sorry, I'm still in Florida mode. Looks so beautiful at night. I mean, look at it. So beautiful. But I'm not sure what's happening with Space Mountain. So, to sum up, tomorrow I'm not going to film anything. We're more going to do the shows and that we've not done yet, and some re-rides. But I've pretty much shown you everything now. I know I didn't show you Ratatouille, but oh well. But I wanted to show you Discoveryland because it's so beautiful at night. I'm going to show you some shots down from Main Street later as well. But yeah, having such a great time here. 2 more days left, well 1.5 because we've only got half a day, but yeah, I'm going to do the best rides, the ones that I've enjoyed most in those 2 days, and there will be a top 10 video on eventually talking about those rides. Just absolutely stunning. Best area at night, this definitely. It's going. There we go, finally gone up. After all that time. Here we are outside Autopia. Also looking great. Tracks all lit up at night as well, it's really, really nice. So that's pretty much all I have to say now. Just going to show you a few shots around Main Street, then I'll basically sum up everything when I arrive home. So you've just seen plenty of scenes there from our trip to Disneyland Paris. Yeah, it was a great trip. I really enjoyed it. The last 2 days I didn't do any recording in the end. I know I didn't do any more POVs or anything. I know you might be a bit disappointed about that, but you know, I just wanted to kind of enjoy it and enjoy some re-rides on my favourites. Big Thunder Mountain, Space Mountain, Pirates of the Caribbean, Buzz Lightyear, I think I went, yeah, we went on that again. Rock and Roller Coaster, Tower of Terror, Crushers Coaster, Star Tours, yeah. They were pretty much all my favourite rides that we did again. So it's been a great trip. It's a shame Phantom Manor was closed, but at least Big Thunder Mountain was open. I got to get back on that. This last day we flew at 6:15 UK time. That's what our flight was advertised as being, leaving to go back to England. It didn't set off till about 25 to 7. And it was advertised to arrive back home at 6:45 UK time, which didn't really make sense considering kind of how early our flight was, because it takes about an hour or just under or over an hour, about around an hour to get back home to Manchester Airport from Charles de Gaulle. Obviously Manchester Airport's the one that we flew from and flew back to. Yeah, but yeah, it got back at 6:45 PM UK time, so our flight was on time overall. I'm not sure why they advertised it as 6:15. Actually, I think it was 6:20. Either way, only 5 minutes difference. It would have still been longer than it should have been anyway, so we would have got home early if it set off on time. But yeah, you get what I'm saying. So yeah, we're staying in the Sequoia Lodge Hotel, really good hotel. Talk a bit more about why you should stay in that hotel in the next video, where I'm going to talk about kind of the best orders to do, kind of everything. I usually do it for rides, but obviously with Disneyland Paris there's so much. I'm going to talk about everything. We did watch a couple of shows as well in those last couple of days, but they weren't ones that I could really film in. We watched Mickey and the Magician, and we also watched the 25th anniversary. I could have filmed that, but we were in a really bad place. I'd gone to do Big Thunder Mountain, so I didn't get to the place where we needed to watch the show, just outside the castle on the castle stage, until about 5 minutes before it started. So yeah, but it was worth that ride on Thunder Mountain. I've done a chest mounted POV, which you will have seen before from that. Actually, I can't remember if it was from that ride. It was about that time of day, but I think that might have actually been the day after. But I did do a chest mounted POV about midday. The one no, actually, the chest mounted. Sorry, guys, I'm getting mixed up. The chest mounted POV was from the night before. Sorry, I'm getting it all mixed up. Yeah, you'll see from that was evening. I did a handheld one at midday, which you also saw, but that was towards the start of the trip. Sorry about that little mix-up, guys. But yeah, both shows were brilliant. Mickey and the Magician had some really good special effects, some really good ice effects and stuff like that. That was a really good show. We did do Stitch Live as well. If you don't know what Stitch Live is, it's basically where you sit in front of a Stitch and basically he talks to the audience. It's a very interactive show. That's probably my favourite one at Disneyland. Walt Disney Studios, or probably after the stunt show, that's my favourite one, with the Stitch Live one, because it's very interactive. And then obviously at the end, spoilers if you don't want to know what happens, skip about 20 seconds of the video. Basically he gets found by the evil doctor. I don't know the film at all, and basically you have to help Stitch escape. I believe there's an attraction in Florida as well. Anyway, spoilers over. It was about 10 seconds, but you know, I wasn't sure how long it would take me to say what I wanted to say, but that's all I have to say. But yeah. So to kind of do a quick summary of the trip. So yes, we'll start off in not Magic Kingdom, Disneyland Park. I wish I was back at Florida. My cousin's actually out in Florida as well, so yeah, I hope she's enjoying herself. She's literally just flew out today as I'm recording this video. I think is it today she flew? I can't remember. I think it might be today. Anyway, yeah, so I'm kind of in a bit of a Florida mood at the moment. I've been talking to her about kind of the best way to kind of do things. She's doing a bit of a different trip to what I did. She's not going to Disney much at all, but I've told her, but I know Florida's theme parks quite well, even the ones we never visited in the video. Check it out. I'll put a link in the description to the Florida video because that was an absolutely amazing trip. Best trip I've done in my life. Really want to go back there, but yeah, I've been basically talking to her about the good stuff to do in Florida. So yeah, I'm in Florida mode at the moment, to be honest, even though I'm not there. But to summarise the trip, we'll start off in Disneyland Park, Fantasyland. So you got Snow White, you got Pinocchio, just average dark rides. It's a Small World's also a classic, not the best ride, but a classic as always. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about rides I didn't film as well, which is why I decided to do this, so I didn't miss anything. Peter Pan's a very good ride, probably in my top 20 to be honest, at Disneyland Paris in Fantasyland. Casey Jr. is probably a bit of an underrated roller coaster. I actually thought that was quite a good little mine train roller coaster, that. There's a little boat ride as well. It's a lot of the rides are in French, so it's hard to remember the names, but it takes you through some different films. I think it takes you through Aladdin and stuff like that. That's one to miss, but yeah, that's also underrated. Go and check that out. It's a good little dark ride, that actually. What else is there in Fantasyland? That's probably about Fantasyland kind of covered, to be honest. I don't believe I have missed anything there. So let's go to Discoveryland. Yes, Hyperspace Mountain's a good roller coaster. Not a big fan of the restraints on that. Press on your chest a bit, like I was talking about, but it's a very good roller coaster overall. Buzz Lightyear, a good kind of interactive dark ride where you shoot the targets, obviously. I think that one's a bit better than the Florida one. No, well, it's a bit longer. I wouldn't say it's better. I'd say the Florida one is better. Got more impressive animatronics, but that one's definitely got a better length to it. I did feel the Florida one was a bit short. Yeah, Paris's dark rides seem to be quite long compared to the Florida ones. Peter Pan was better in Paris, though. Although I think the Florida one with that was a bit longer. Star Tours is similar in both parks. I love Autopia. I prefer it to the Tomorrowland Speedway simply because of the circuit, to be honest. Frontierland, Big Thunder Mountain is absolutely amazing in Paris. I have some merchandise to show you from that in a minute, actually. Absolutely amazing ride. That now, just the special effects and everything, they almost put the Florida one to shame. It's a better roller coaster, although I do believe the California one is good as well, so you never know, anything could change my mind. Phantom Man, I didn't get to go on it this time, but a very good dark ride. Not my favourite, but it's in my top 20. It's not my favourite dark ride at the park, in my top 20. Indiana Jones is a great roller coaster. I sometimes think the theming's a bit, I think people expect it to be like a dark ride or something, because you would think they might try and add a bit more to it, because maybe it doesn't have as much quantity of... It doesn't have the quantity of theming that some of the other rides, but it's the quality of the theming is good. I think I'd rate that ride a bit higher if they built it an indoor roller coaster, but it's still in my top. It's still in my top 10. It's a bit rough, but it's worth the ride anyway. Just it might hurt your shoulders a bit, but I'm quite small, so it doesn't really bother me too much. Just bangs your head a bit of a head banger in places. Pirates of the Caribbean, amazing dark ride. Absolutely puts the Florida version to shame. The Florida version is too short. It lacks detail. It's just feels a bit unfinished, to be honest. But what they've pretty much done, like I was saying in the Paris one, they've added basically the best parts of the Florida one that weren't in the basically the best parts of the Florida one that weren't in the Paris version. I kind of wish they'd added the bit on the Paris version of Thunder Mountain. I know I'm backtracking a bit now, where it like goes over like a trestle and rocks from side to side. Because the Florida one was a bit wilder in that way, maybe better for that. But other than that, Paris is a much better coaster. Much more airtime and much bigger drops, more thrilling and more intense. Yes, Pirates, basically what they added is they added the Cannonballs from Florida, they added Jack Sparrow from Florida, which were basically the two best bits of the ride, or the only bits that you could really credit from the ride, to be honest, because there wasn't much to it apart from that. The fire effects are amazing that they've added in Paris. They definitely need to come to Florida somewhere. And the ending's changed, which is very good. I love the ending in Paris now. It kind of before just, I think it had just like a skull. There wasn't much going on there, but now they've added kind of they've added the pirate or whatever it is, and they've added like the swinging lantern and stuff like that. So that looks really good now. So that's pretty much it for Disneyland Park. Walt Disney Studios didn't do Armageddon because it's that bad a ride and it's all in French, or a show I should say. If you don't know, it's basically a 15-minute pre-show and just some fire effects. I don't think it's even worth doing, and a floor drop. That's about it. Basically you're on a spaceship which crashes, and they spend a lot of time explaining how it will work, which is fine. But the thing is, with the stunt show, I know they spend like half, it's like a fit, but it's 50-50, so it's worth it, it works. But with Armageddon, it's literally like 75 to 25, or maybe not even that, maybe 90 to 10%, and then that 10% is the actual show, which lasts 2 minutes. So, yeah. Rock and Roller Coaster. I want to talk about this one a bit more in detail. So like I said, the exterior of the ride at Paris, sorry I was just scratching my neck a bit there. The exterior in Paris is awful. The one in Florida is absolutely amazing. The queue line, I prefer the one in Paris because I think the Florida one's too focused on. The Paris one kind of showcases other bands a bit more than the Florida one, I think. So I think it just does that a bit better. There's more kind of theming to the Paris one, kind of that way, and kind of the music and stuff I prefer. The Florida one's more focused on Aerosmith than the Paris one, and considering it's like a record company you're going into, I think they should be celebrating other rock bands as well as Aerosmith itself, even though the ride's centered around them. The pre-show in Paris is awful. I think it's pointless, doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah, it's kind of just like, they're kind of like, what's happening there, and you just see the band kind of practicing, I'm not kind of sure what, kind of setting up something. The story is something along the lines of, you're kind of filming like a promotional video, like a music video or something, for one of the band's songs, and the song depends on basically the car you're on. They're called soundtrackers. But the Florida one is basically, you can get a tour of the studios, and you're with Aerosmith. The manager comes in and says that they're late for a concert they've forgotten because of you guys, and then they go to the so they need to go, but they don't want to leave you behind, so basically they take you with them. So much better storyline than the Paris one, I think. But then you go into the stations. Although the Florida one's a really good station, the Paris one just takes things even further. I think it feels more claustrophobic, the Paris one. That's just a fact. It doesn't really matter that it's like that. But basically, in both you can see the limos launching off, but you're seeing Paris's, and you can see it's from the station. Each one has a different coloured lights because the ride is filled with flashing lights in Paris. In Florida, it's kind of just filled with like neon signs and stuff. There's a different song on each one, obviously. So all Florida's limos have like a different soundtrack when they launch. So you can tell that from off the ride, because you can hear them all launching and see them as well. That's the same with Paris's, but Paris's has a different light show for each one as well. So the blue one, a green one, a multicoloured one, a red and yellow one, and a purple one. I've done the green, the multicoloured, and the red and yellow one. Never gotten any others. But they were the best one. Sorry, I think it was green. Did I say blue? But the multicoloured and the red and yellow were brilliant. The green I wasn't that big a fan of, but the other two looked absolutely brilliant. So you get on your ride on both of them. You basically launch. The Paris one builds up a lot more tension when you launch than the Florida one. I love the big kind of 3, 2, 1, and then the one kind of explodes when you kind of launch, like bursts into like flames. I love that. And the rides, they're the same track layout. The track layouts are identical. The Paris one's filled with lights, the Florida one's filled with signs. I prefer the Paris ride experience. And there's all kind of lights at the end. There's this big light show in the end when you're waiting to kind of go into the end part. You only see it for about 5 seconds, but you can see kind of swinging lights and stuff. In the Florida one, you don't quite get the same effect, to be honest. You don't really see a lot, to be honest. It's kind of just a dark corridor, like in the Paris one. Right, we got stuck on both of them, right? And on the Paris one, when we got stuck at the end because the car hadn't got ready to go yet, they were still getting people off, and that if people like lost things on the ride and stuff, and they have to look for them, it kind of takes a bit longer and stuff like that. But on the Paris one, you could see kind of lights flashing and stuff, and it looked really good. You could see like a mini light show that probably, and you saw kind of more of it than you normally get to see. On the Florida one, we literally just sat there in a dark corridor in kind of silence. On the Paris one, there was still kind of audio going and stuff. You kind of heard the audio, kind of like the downloading kind of the thing you've just recorded and that. And there's some quite cool sound effects, to be honest. But yeah, exit's quite similar. There's some nice lights kind of in the exit to the Paris one that you don't get in the Florida one. I do like how in the Florida one you get a post show, which is like a little film after the ride. You don't get a lot on Paris's, so I'd say Florida's is maybe a bit better ending than Paris's, even though Paris has the lights. But yeah, then you kind of just come out after that on both of them. They're very similar kind of layouts to the exit and the ride on both rides. The queues have got a bit of a different layout on both of them, but yeah. That's all I really have to say. So I prefer Florida for the exterior and kind of storyline and how kind of everything kind of fits together. Because obviously in the Florida one, you got the big exterior with the massive guitar and the car and stuff like that. And on the Paris one, you just got that little CD and a bit of coaster track. But I prefer the Paris one for kind of the ride experience and kind of the it's more immersive, the Paris one, I think, than the Florida one, definitely. So yeah. Overall, I prefer the Paris one, but those are just my opinions. Tower of Terror. Florida one's obviously better because it moves around, but Paris one's still really good. Top 5 ride. Both Rock and Roller Coaster and Tower of Terror are top 5 rides for me. At both parks. And you'll know if you've seen the Florida Top 10 video that that's the case. I'm going on a bit now. But yeah. So the Florida one's definitely a lot better than the Paris one. The Paris one's still a really, really world-class ride. Absolutely brilliant special effects on both rides. Crush's Coaster, I love that as well. Toy Story Land, Lightning McQueen, dark rides, stuff like that. Yeah, just some little flat rides there. Sorry, not a dark ride, flat rides. Lightning McQueen's a bit like a Sizzler dark ride, which is one where it like spins around. Parachute drops and like mini drop tower, RC Racer, I'm not sure what those type of rides are called. Slinky Dog's one of them fairground rides that like spins on a curve, not sure what you call one of them, to be honest. Ratatouille is a 3D dark ride. If you go to Universal, every ride's like that. It's alright. It's in my top 20, not top 10. I think it's a bit overrated, to be honest. I'm not a big fan of those dark rides, but I like how Ratatouille has theming as well as the screens. But yeah, weirdly though, one of the screens broke one time and we got squirted and it didn't really work properly. Ratatouille, I didn't go down to film there. I didn't really have time. I wish I did go film down there, but yeah, it's an alright ride, is Ratatouille. It's better than Transformers, I'd say. My favourite ride I've done of those trackless rides is Spider-Man at Universal Islands of Adventure. That's a really good dark ride. Not a big fan of the Transformers one. But yeah, just too many rides are like that at Universal. But, you know, it's fine Paris having one like that. I believe there's one coming to Epcot in Florida as well. So looking forward to that. That's all from the parks, to be honest. Stunt show was really good, but I talked plenty about that in the thing. Kind of the effects they do and stuff. But yeah, but before I go, you know, I love to show you the merchandise I've got at the end of these vlogs and stuff. So we've got some pin badges here. We've got Pirates of the Caribbean pin badge. We have got Tower of Terror. Also, we have got Mickey 25th anniversary. If you're going for Paris, definitely give this, get this one. that's if you're going before September, because that's when it ends. It was from March 2017 to September 2018. They've extended it for a long time. The actual anniversary was last year, but yeah. And then finally, we have got a... Sorry, I'm just looking. Star Tours. One which is quite cool. I prefer the Florida Star Tours badge, but yeah, still a cool badge. Now last, but certainly not least, I've got a Thunder Mountain t-shirt here, if I can show it in front of the camera. I'm just going to have to put this back a bit. So you got a Thunder Mountain t-shirt there. Wildest Ride in the Wilderness. It's a bit hard to see on the camera. I'll just put it on the floor, and then you can see it a bit better. Sorry guys, I need to... There we go, I just had to turn the camera around there. But yeah, Thunder Mountain t-shirt there. And yeah, that's all my merchandise I bought. Anyway, thank you for watching. That's all from Disneyland Paris in this vlog. Stay tuned for more videos from Disneyland Paris. Gonna have an on-ride POV from Thunder Mountain, and gonna have the video about best order to do your rides, where to stay, fast passes, all that in another video. Give you some advice on that for if you want to plan a trip to Disneyland Paris. And finally, we're gonna have a top 10 rides at Disneyland Paris, which you've probably been able to figure out quite a few of my top 10 rides at the park. But yeah, that's all coming up on the channel soon. I am sad to leave Disneyland Paris, or I was sad anyway when I left, but for me, there needs to be another ride at that park for me to go back, and I'm not really happy with what they're planning at Studios. But Star Wars Land will be great, but I'm not a fan of them taking over Rock and Roller Coaster and the rumoured Tower of Terror for Marvel rides, like Guardians of the Galaxy for Tower of Terror and kind of general Marvel for Rock and Roller Coaster. Not a fan of that, but it is what it is. I won't get to probably ride a Rock and Roller Coaster again unless I go to Florida's before that. Before that rumoured change happens, if it does. But yeah, there needs to be something more for me before I go back. But I do have some fantastic things that I'm planning. Hopefully the plans go ahead, because I've got some fantastic trips planned to other Europe theme parks coming up. Some of which are Disney class, or they're going to be Disney class anyway when I go. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.